Hello there. I just want to make a quick video. I won't keep you for long. I guess on the topic of geoengineering. I was out walking today and I saw them spraying like X marks the spot, and it just drives me to drink. Some of the first videos I ever made on YouTube here were actually about chemtrails and geoengineering, and nothing's really changed. You're more than likely just to get mocked or insulted for trying to warn people about this stuff, and that just baffles me. How a person is more than likely to attack you for telling them that they've been lied to or someone's trying to hurt them, than actually get mad at the people who is lying or trying to hurt them. And so on it goes. Nothing really ever seems to change. Like here, this was 4 months ago. Every now and then I have to post a video. I try to link it to my MP Richard Cannings on Facebook, but I noticed that, I don't know, he blocked me or something. I can't link him. And you know, most people will say, oh, those are just contrails. It's like, no, there's a difference. There's a provable difference between what chemtrails and contrails are. Like this documentary right here. What in the world are they spraying? They show all the citations you can shake a stick at, but still people just don't want to go there. And I guess I get that, because the idea of this is so evil that a lot of people are just not evil like that, and so the thought would never even cross their mind. And then when you bring it up to them, you seem evil for thinking about it, and so then they negatively transfer that emotion, that contempt onto you. But I mean, what can you do about it, right? It just bothers me, the apathy, and the idea that people just refuse to admit that contrails and chemtrails are two different things. However, that being said, at the end of the day, all you can really do is pray. Like, I pray for my MP to wake up. Hopefully he's not like a Freemason or something. Like, I've met the guy. I've called him out about it publicly. I even asked him if he was a Freemason. He refused to answer me. But I pray for these guys in the mighty name of Yahshua, Jesus Christ, because at this point in the game, I don't even know if they know what they are. Like, if they honestly can't go there because it's just too evil, it's too scary, it's this Pandora's box way of thinking about it. They got to keep that shut in. They can't let those thoughts out. And so I don't know, like, what are you going to do? Today, I see this X marks the spot. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And it also makes me harken back to the whole climate change hoax, whatever. I mean, all for what? A worldwide tax, the first one ever, you know? Other than the idea that maybe the geoengineering is a form of terraforming, could be a form of terraforming, I don't know. But at the same time, there's Satanist types that think they have to purposely cause disaster and calamity because they think it forces Jesus' hand. They think they can force Jesus to like end the world early or something. I don't know. Luciferians are bonkers. Let's just not even get into that right now. But this topic of chemtrails, the idea that people can't see it, I mean, I pray for them because it's obviously real. And you know, the thing that bothers me, I guess, the most is if I poison somebody, I go to jail. But yet these guys can poison the whole world and nothing happens to them. It's pretty bonkers. Or even here, recording this afterwards. Like, if you can't see this, you don't want to.
Do people honestly believe that planes fly in grid patterns like that? Like civilian commercial planes are taking off and lining up and flying like that? And yet people have the balls to say chemtrails are just a conspiracy theory? You'd have to be crazy on acid, LSD, to not see that for what it is. Those are perfectly symmetrical. Line after line after line after line. Jesus save us. And I pray for these politicians to have to taste the poison they're covering up for. Or even here, like this. Like, does that really look normal to you?
And yeah, like at this point, I don't even know what to think anymore, really. Like, other than the fact that it's a measure of insanity. Because aside from fully cited films like this, What in the World Are They Spraying, where they show David Keith saying that they're hiding the toxicology reports. It was the first thing they did, and that this is a moral imperative like free riding on their grandkids. It makes me wonder if they're honestly being told they're doing this to help climate change. But then there's the whole school of thought about actual terraforming. I don't know. All I know is the poison. Even like, again, David Keith saying we should dump like tons and tons of sulfuric acid into the atmosphere. That's horrible. And then what, the Ohio thing happens the other day? Dumping all this sulfuric acid into the atmosphere? The environment, if you want to gripe about climate change, it's pollution that's the problem, not the actual weather caused by the sun and the moon's rotation. But the idea that poisoning our environment on purpose, again, most people just can't go there because it's too scary. And me, I don't know. Like I said, after years of this, it's kind of like that Guns N' Roses song. I feel like sometimes like that old Guns N' Roses song where the lyrics are sometimes I feel like I'm beating a dead horse and I don't know why it keeps getting me down. I'd like to think that this all's worth a tad more. It feels like there's no justice. But I guess in the day of judgment, they're going to be standing there having to hold their mud. And if you don't have Jesus, if you can't repent or even admit you're wrong, on the day of judgment, essentially, if you don't have Jesus as a defense attorney, what do you think's going to happen to you? At some point, when you're arguing with people about stuff like this, I got to wonder if I'm even arguing with them or their demon strongholds, much less the censorship and everything else. But again, with those song lyrics, beating a dead horse, throwing shit against a brick wall and hoping something sticks. At the end of the day, I mean, you can make all the videos you want or try to wake up all the people you want, but God has to let them see it or remove the scales from their eyes first. And so I guess I do this out of a sense of duty, like a chronicler, like chronicling the horrors I see everywhere I go, and at the same time, yeah, I just feel like I'm beating a dead horse. That it's just a big pile of stinking awful. And that sometimes I don't feel like I'm making a dent, but I gotta believe that I am, and if it isn't me that creates the shot heard around the world, it'll be somebody else. But I don't know. It's just depressing, I guess, like almost manic. And yeah, like the idea that people can't tell the difference between a contrail, a condensation trail, and a chemtrail, a chemical trail. Like, at the end of the day, it's almost like hypnosis that people can't see this. So yeah, just pray for people that they could see this, that the scales be lifted from their eyes. And don't let fear get in the way of anything. If anything, turn your fear into righteous anger. Don't use fear as some kind of final fig leaf to hide behind. People need to own up to this. It's coming and hell's coming with it. And in the end, my guts tell me they're going to use this as an excuse, that it's to help protect us from whatever. And yeah, whatever. I don't know. I guess that's all I got to say about that. Peace out.